Deep in the heart of the Congo rainforest, there was a village called Kaloba, built on the banks of a mighty river. The villagers were known as the river people, living in harmony with the water that provided fish, transportation, and fertile lands for crops. But their peace was overshadowed by the rule of Chief Koma, a man whose greed knew no bounds. The greedy chief. Chief Koma had inherited leadership from his father, but unlike his wise predecessor, he was driven by selfish desires. He demanded the best catch of fish, the largest share of crops, and tributes of gold and ivory from his people. "The river belongs to me," he would declare. "If you use it, you owe me." The villagers grew resentful but were too afraid to oppose him. Koma's warriors enforced his rule with brutal efficiency, ensuring that no one dared defy him. The river's warning. One evening, as Koma stood on the riverbank admiring his wealth, a strange figure emerged from the water. It was an old woman, her hair flowing like reeds, her eyes glowing like fireflies. The villagers whispered that she was the spirit of the river. "Koma," the spirit said, her voice echoing like the river's current, "you have taken more than your share. The river is not yours to own. It is a gift for all who live by its banks. If you do not change your ways, the river will take back what it has given." Koma laughed. "Old woman, I am the chief. The river flows at my command. Leave before I have you thrown into its depths." The spirit's eyes darkened. "You have been warned." Then she vanished into the water. The curse of greed. Ignoring the warning, Koma grew even greedier. He ordered his warriors to block off parts of the river, claiming entire stretches as his personal fishing grounds. He forbade the villagers from using the river without his permission, driving many to starvation and despair. But strange things began to happen. The fish disappeared from Koma's nets. His crops withered, even as those of his people remained healthy. His gold turned dull, his ivory cracked, and his storehouses mysteriously emptied. Koma, enraged, accused the villagers of stealing from him. He doubled his demands, taking whatever little they had left. "I am the river's master," he roared. The river's wrath. One stormy night, as Koma feasted alone in his grand hut, the river rose. Its waters surged higher and higher, spilling over its banks and sweeping through the village. The villagers fled to higher ground, but Koma, stubborn and proud, refused to leave. "This is my river," he shouted as the water surged into his hut. "It would not dare harm me." But the river was relentless. It tore through the walls of his home, swallowing his treasures and dragging him into its depths. When the storm subsided, the villagers returned to find the chief's hut gone, replaced by a deep, swirling pool. They whispered that Koma's greed had finally consumed him, that the river had claimed him as its own. The lessons of Kaloba. With Koma gone, the villagers began to rebuild their lives. They returned to the river, now flowing peacefully, and shared its bounty equally among themselves. They built a shrine near the swirling pool where Koma's hut once stood, offering prayers and promises to never again let greed corrupt their community. The story of Chief Koma became a cautionary tale, passed down through generations. It reminded the river people that the gifts of nature were meant to be shared, not hoarded, and that those who sought to own what belonged to all would only bring ruin upon themselves. The spirit's legacy. Though the villagers never saw the spirit of the river again, they felt her presence in the water's gentle currents and the life it provided. They taught their children to respect the river, to live in harmony with its rhythms, and to remember that no one, not even a chief, could claim ownership of its endless flow. If this story of the greedy chief inspired you, share it with others who value the lessons of fairness and respect for nature. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more captivating folk tales from around the world. Together, let's honor the wisdom of these stories and carry their timeless lessons into our daily lives.